Fans are done with Beyonce. Yes, you heard that right. The Beyhive is starting to feel the lingering fatigue of Queen Bee herself, and she's officially canceled. Reason number one, overexposure. Now, before I dive into the reasons behind this fatigue, let me make it clear that she is undoubtedly one of the most talented. In recent years, though, Beyonce has been everywhere. Beyonce has faced criticism for overexposure and oversaturation, particularly in the mid-2010s. Critics argue that her constant presence in the media and her prolific output of music and performances have led to fatigue and decreased interest in her brand. She's released several albums, gone on tour, performed at countless award shows, and even launched her own activewear line. While it's understandable that she wants to stay relevant and capitalize on her success, the sheer volume of her output has started to feel overwhelming to some fans. When you're constantly bombarded with Beyonce's music videos, and endorsement deals, it's only natural to start feeling a little fatigued. Lack of authenticity. Another reason why some fans may be feeling tired of Beyonce is the perception that she's become too calculated and manufactured. With the rise of social media, it's become increasingly easy for celebrities to curate a perfect image of themselves, and Beyonce is no exception. While she's always been known for her polished performances and music videos, some fans feel that she's lost touch with her roots and is now more focused on maintaining a flawless public image than creating genuine art. One person on social media said, "Sometimes I do feel like the only thing Beyonce doesn't have that Prince and Madonna and MJ etc. did have is a consistently high quality discography. Everything else seems impressive. Her dedication, perfectionism, and ambition is absolutely the stuff of legend, but she doesn't yet have the collection of music to back it up, I feel. In time she will, I'm sure of it." Another person said, "She is quite overrated in my opinion. She's a good and occasionally great artist, but in recent years, it seems like people and critics have been praising and revering her as highly, as artists like MJ, Prince, Bowie, and Madonna were praised in their heyday. I think people want another huge, legendary pop star that can be looked back on as one of the greatest to ever do it, but in my opinion, Beyonce just doesn't quite cut it. That said, she is an amazing performer." Unrelatability. Beyonce's music and public persona have always been centered around themes of female empowerment, love, and self-discovery. However, as she's grown older and more successful, some fans have started to feel like they can't relate to her as much as they used to. Her music has become more experimental and avant-garde, which may appeal to some fans, but not to others. Additionally, her luxurious lifestyle and high-profile marriage to Jay-Z have made her seem increasingly out of touch with the everyday concerns and struggles of her fans. One person online came to her defense and said, "This is a very unpopular opinion, but I feel like the relatable criticisms are from people that want to be nosy, as well as find something very negative about her in order to be sanctimonious and sit in their high horse." Now, it's a cycle of, let's trauma bond all the while I'm going to silently judge you and think highly of myself for this one little thing. I've already seen people do this with Kiki, Cardi, Megan, Nicki, and several others, because let's face it, the little bit of information that we know about her is stuff that is relatable. Someone actually agreed with this person, saying, "I agree with you. What's funny is there is a lot we know about her personal life. Obviously, it's not everything, but we know about her infertility issues, marriage troubles, babies in the NICU, parents' divorce issues, injuries, etc. A lot of these things are plenty significant and relatable, but people ignore that because it's not really about relating, it's about judgment." Overemphasis on visuals. In recent years, Beyonce has placed an increasing emphasis on visuals in her music and live performances. While her music videos and concerts are undoubtedly stunning and meticulously, choreographed, some fans feel that she's prioritizing style over substance. With the rise of streaming services and social media, it's become easier than ever for artists to just focus on creating visually striking content that generates buzz and goes viral. However, this approach can sometimes come at the expense of meaningful lyrics and genuine emotional connection. Unrealistic expectations is another reason. Some fans may be feeling tired of Beyonce because they've placed unrealistic expectations on her. Beyonce has been accused of cultural appropriation. Beyonce has faced criticism for cultural appropriation, particularly in her music videos and performances. Her 2018 Coachella performance was criticized for borrowing heavily from historically Black colleges and universities' culture without proper understanding, credit, or compensation, use of African culture. Beyonce has been accused of using, African culture as a prop, particularly also in her music videos and performances. Some fans have also criticized Beyonce for not adequately representing the cultures she appropriates, now leading to accusations of exploitation. At the time of the Super Bowl in February of 2024, Beyonce released 2 new singles that sounded a little different than her usual stuff. One of those 2 singles, called, Texas Hold'em, went on to #1 on the Billboard Hot Country chart and eventually #1 on just the Billboard Hot 100. In late March of that year, Beyonce followed up with the release of her new album Cowboy Carter that featured artists like Willie Nelson and Dolly Parton. The outrage was not far behind, though. There were some who suggested that since Beyonce was, a black artist, she had no business messing around with country music. There were others who suggested that Beyonce was purposefully, making a mockery of a sacred genre. And yet even others suggested that this was a clear example of the dreaded, cultural appropriation that gets tossed around like a yo-yo with the worst possible timing. The reality is, though, that Beyonce was born and raised in Texas, and her mother is a Texas native and her father's from Alabama. It wouldn't be a stretch to understand that Beyonce grew up listening to some high quality country music, all her life. Music industry controversies. There's been a lot of accusations of Beyonce stealing ideas. Beyonce has faced accusations of stealing from other artists, including Khalees and Destiny's Child's former manager Matthew Knowles, who is also, of course, her father and her ex-manager. Now, the Milkshake singer called out Beyonce, as well as producers Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo, for sampling her 2003 single on the song Energy, allegedly without her permission. Khalees claimed, via Instagram in July 2022, saying, "My mind is blown too because the level of disrespect and utter ignorance of all 3 parties involved is astounding. I heard about this the same way everyone else did. Nothing is ever as it seems. Some of the people in this business have no soul or integrity and they have everyone fooled." Though neither Beyonce nor her team publicly commented on Khalees' post, the sample appeared to be removed from the Spotify version of Energy in early August 2022, although it can still be heard on Apple Music, so give it a listen. So a lot of sampling without permission has been speculated many times, and Beyonce has been accused of sampling another person's song without permission, a Nigerian singer, Tiwa Savage. Now, there was also a lawsuit over Formation. Allegedly, Beyonce was sued by the estate of Anthony Barr, a New Orleans-based YouTube personality, over the use of his voice and likeness in her song Formation. Now, in 2025, Beyonce won the Grammy for Best Country Album for her album Cowboy Carter, becoming the first Black woman to win in that category. However, some fans and critics said that other nominees were more deserving. In August 2022, Beyonce announced that she would change the lyrics to her song Heated following backlash from disability rights activists. The track includes lines in the song which features a slang term derived from the word spastic. Now, activists argued that the word is considered a slur among people with cerebral palsy. Her team said in a statement at the time, the word, not used intentionally in a harmful way, will be replaced, but many just called her to be canceled after that. Beyonce's personal life controversies have taken a toll on her reputation also, and they're making people just tired of her. Jay-Z's, infidelity. Beyonce's husband admitted to his infidelity in his 2017 album 444, leading to speculation about the state of their marriage. There was also, the rumors of a fake pregnancy. Remember when some fans accused Beyonce of faking her 2011 pregnancy with Blue Ivy, sparking a very heated debate, which of course, mostly stemmed from that interview that she did in Australia, where people saw her stomach fold like a frisbee. Now, her feud with Kim Kardashian is also problematic. Beyonce and Kim have been rumored to have had a feud, with some speculating it's over Jay-Z's friendship with Kanye West. Now, last but not least, her business controversies have taken a toll and called many people to want her to be canceled this year. To start, her Ivy Park clothing line. Beyonce's Ivy Park clothing line faced a lot of criticism for its high prices and lack of diversity in its marketing. Not to mention, it was reported that these fits were being made by workers who were getting paid like next to nothing. So basically a sweatshop. Workers actually told The Sun that all they do is work, sleep, work, sleep, work, sleep. Ivy Park denied the allegations, claiming to have an ethical trading program, factory inspections and audits, and all is good, allegedly. Beyonce's rise to fame began at a young age. We all remember her hit R&B group Destiny's Child that her father and ex-manager Matthew Knowles created back in the 90s. That skyrocketed Beyonce into stardom. So who would have thought that with her wide range of exceptional vocal talents that she would ever be caught lip syncing, right? I certainly didn't, and I know millions of others didn't. So that's exactly what happened though, and not only did it happen, but it happened at President Barack Obama's second inauguration in 2013. Beyonce was invited to perform the national anthem, being the Star-Spangled Banner, which would be watched by millions of people around the world, no biggie. Now, many assumed at first, of course, that she was in fact singing live. However, it was later revealed that Beyonce had lip-synced the entire performance, actually singing along to the pre-recorded track of the anthem. Now, the news sparked a heated debate, with some critics accusing Beyonce of being dishonest and lacking integrity, while others defended her, saying that the cold weather and technical issues made it necessary to use a pre-recorded track. Now, according to the Marine Corps band, the decision to use a pre-recorded track was actually made like minutes before the performance. Beyonce also said that she had sung along to the track to ensure that the performance was flawless. Now, when she admitted that she had lip-synced, the singer said she's a perfectionist and wanted her performance for Barack Obama to be a memorable one. Now, she called the day emotional, and she went on to say, "I practiced until my feet bleed, and I did not have time to rehearse with the orchestra. Due to no proper sound check, I did not feel comfortable taking a risk. It was about the president and the inauguration, and I wanted to make him and my country proud. So I decided to sing along with my pre-recorded track," which is very common in the music industry, and I'm very proud of my performance. So, to be fair, and to her defense, the Star-Spangled Banner is notoriously difficult piece to sing. It spans such a huge vocal range, and it was also bitterly cold that day in Washington. So the combination of nerves and the cold may have influenced Beyonce's decision to rely on the pre-recorded track. We will forgive you, B, but we won't forget it. Moving on now, Beyonce has been called out many times for sampling songs throughout her career without actually getting permission first. One of the most notable cases is the song Ring the Alarm from her 2006 album B-Day. The song's chorus bears a striking resemblance to the 1995 song Get Me Bodied by Rare Essence, and also samples elements from the 97 song La Di Da Di by Doug E. Fresh and Slick Rick. In 2010, Beyonce was actually sued by songwriter Jennifer Armour, who claimed that Beyonce's song Baby Boy featuring Sean Paul infringed on her own song Love Theme, which was written in 97. Now, another notable one was Beyonce's song Run the World. She was accused of sampling the song Pon de Floor by Major Lazer without properly clearing the sample. But nothing almost ruined her career more than when she sampled the Challenger explosion in her song XO. Begins with audio of NASA's former public affairs officer Steve Nesbitt referring to a major malfunction involving the Challenger space shuttle, which actually exploded just a minute after its launch. NASA said in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter at the time, "The Challenger accident is an important part of our history, a tragic reminder that space exploration is risky and should never be trivialized." Now, in a statement to ABC News in December of 2013, Beyonce explained that she intended for the audio to be a tribute to those who passed away aboard the Challenger. She said at the time, "My heart goes out to the families of those lost in the Challenger disaster. The song XO was recorded with the sincerest intention to help heal those who have lost loved ones and to remind us that unexpected things happen. So love and appreciate every minute that you have with those who mean the most to you." The songwriters included in the audio in tribute to the unselfish work of the Challenger crew, with hope that they will never be forgotten. Many critics didn't accept her apology or statement, and many just believed she was being tone deaf and inconsiderate, with one person online saying, "This is not how you honor the crew members. Nobody asked for this," with another person saying, "This is so random and came out of nowhere. She hasn't once spoken about the Challenger incident. She's definitely lying about her intentions." NASA astronauts, employees, and the families of the Challenger astronauts were extremely upset that she used this audio and didn't think it was a well thought out idea. June Scobie Rogers, the widow of Challenger Space Shuttle Commander Dick Scobie, told ABC News at the time, "We were disappointed to learn that an audio clip from the day we lost a heroic Challenger crew was used in the song XO. The moment included in this song is an emotionally difficult one for the Challenger families, colleagues, and friends. We have always chosen to focus not on how our loved ones were lost, but rather on how they lived and how their legacy lives on today. A former NASA employee, Keith Cowing, said, "This choice of historic and solemn audio is inappropriate in the extreme. The choice is little different than taking Walter Cronkite's words to viewers announcing the passing of President Kennedy or 911 calls from attacks and using them for shock value in a pop tune." Beyonce has never spoken out about this since, and because it caused such a media frenzy, people were not only upset about it, of course, but also ready to cancel her completely. It gave a vibe that she was using tragedy to sell records. Thank you, Beyonce. And no, I'm not thanking her, but many celebrities have, and there's a bizarre theory around why. It's alleged that one of the closest people in her inner circle started this theory, and while we are still uncertain if there's any truth to it, it certainly is worth digging into. What started out as a conspiracy theory is now a trend that has everyone on social media thanking Beyonce. This all began when social media users noticed an unusual trend in celebrity artists thanking Beyonce in their acceptance speeches after being nominated for major awards. Although the artists did not collaborate with Beyonce or work with her in any way to create the awarded projects, the many artists still use their acceptance speeches as a moment to express their admiration and high regard for the singer. This has occurred particularly at the Grammy Awards. So in 2017, English singer-songwriter Adele thanked Beyonce when accepting the award for Album of the Year. Adele did not feel deserving of the award, as she acknowledged that Beyonce's album, titled Lemonade, was also nominated in the same category. Adele said during her acceptance speech, "I can't possibly accept this award, and I'm very humbled and I'm very grateful and gracious, but the artist of my life is Beyonce." This occurred again in 2023 when American rapper and singer Lizzo thanked Beyonce after winning Record of the Year. At the time, Beyonce's song titled Break My Soul was also nominated in the same category. During her speech, Lizzo reflected on her first Destiny's Child concert and how she was enamored by Beyonce's vocals. Lizzo expressed, "I was I want to make people feel this way with my music, so thank you so much." Beyonce has also been acknowledged on various award stages by celebrities like Megan Thee Stallion, Lady Gaga, and Britney Spears. These harmless acceptance speeches are now being interpreted as a negative narrative towards Beyonce, questioning her character and, her prominent role in the music industry. It is challenging to identify exactly why the public has sought this reaction, though conspiracy theorists believe celebrities praise Beyonce in their acceptance speeches because they understand her immense influence over the music industry and wish to remain successful in the public eye. One source said this conspiracy theory started with the passing of Aaliyah, who is the queen of urban pop who redefined contemporary R&B in the 1990s. Some people argue that her passing gave Beyonce the space to become the icon that she is today. In J. Cole's 2013 song She Knows, he mentions Aaliyah's passing. Now, some of the more deranged and unhinged TikTok users connect that song with Beyonce's friendship with P. Diddy, who has been at the center of conspiracy theories connected to Aaliyah's passing for years. The theory goes like this: thank Beyonce or face the consequences. Celebrities do tend to thank Beyonce a lot. Now, Kanye, rushed the stage when Taylor Swift beat Beyonce for Album of the Year. The list honestly goes on and on and on. The celebrity thanking has reached TikTok, of course, where users are thanking Beyonce at Thanksgiving, or for their dog not having cancer, or literally for nothing. So the question is, have you thanked Beyonce today? Is Beyonce to blame for Liam Payne's passing? One source close to the singer has spread this crazy theory. Following the unexpected passing of Liam Payne, a new theory has emerged, implicating none other than Beyonce, Jay-Z, and P. Diddy. Now imagine the worldwide shock if any of this turned out to be true. Fans in the music industry are still shocked by the news of Liam Payne's passing. Although details, still remain kind of unclear, the coroner has already ruled out foul play for the former One Direction singer. But in the wake of his passing, fans began theorizing what might have happened, and One theory suggests that Beyonce was seen staying in the same hotel where Payne tragically fell from a third-floor balcony. On its own, this fact might seem insignificant, but social media detectives have supposedly found countless other connections between Payne's passing and Beyonce. In a past video, Payne is reported to have warned others to ignore Beyonce, even implying that she was dangerous. Payne also openly expressed a less than friendly view of P. Diddy, describing his smile and laughter as devilish and his presence as very unpleasant. Now, supporters of these theories believe that Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Diddy are just so powerful in the music world, that nearly every award show features celebrities, again, like I just spoke about, thanking Beyonce for their success, fearful of the supposed consequences of doing otherwise. Now, the suggestion is that, the lack of respect for the trio could mean career-ending repercussions. Now, while these theories might seem, outrageous, the internet is filled with those who find meaning in them. Conspiracy theories fulfill a certain, psychological need, even though the most far-fetched ideas lack evidence. Social media algorithms, boost emotionally charged stories, making it easier than ever to just spread these theories. The theory, though, may not add up because, first and foremost, neither Beyonce nor Liam Payne has publicly, in the past or now for Beyonce, even indicated any connection that would lend credibility to these claims. Okay, Beyonce's career has focused on, of course, creating music, empowering messages, maintaining a positive image, and of course, her social justice work. Meanwhile, Payne, as a former member of One Direction, has navigated his own path, post, boy band, encountering personal challenges, like any other high-profile celebrity might. The idea that there would be any, antagonism or hidden influence between them is unfounded, so take this all in, of course, with a grain of salt and come up with your own conclusion. Either way, rest in peace, Liam. Few theories to share with former Hills stars Spencer and Heidi Pratt about Beyonce and Jay-Z on an episode of the couple's Make Spidey Famous Again podcast. Now, Rose said she suspects Gwyneth Paltrow is Jay-Z's alleged mistress, who Beyonce dubbed Becky with the good hair on Lemonade. On the infamous Lemonade track, Sorry, Beyonce sings, "He only want me when I'm not there, he better call Becky with the good hair." The lyrics have been a mega mystery ever since, as fans have wondered, who could dare step between Jay and Bey. Now, a lot of speculation surrounded fashion designer Rachel Roy, who even captioned a now deleted Instagram post, "Good hair don't care," after Lemonade was released. But Rose has a different theory. She speculated on the podcast, saying that she definitely thinks that Gwyneth Paltrow is Becky with the good hair, and she feels like, she's the one who was sleeping with Jay-Z. Rose, who doesn't actually have investigative proof on the situation, explained her theory, saying the once public friendship between Paltrow and Beyonce seems to have hit a lull, like since Sorry came out and was released shortly after the Goop CEO and Coldplay singer Chris Martin announced their divorce. Now, Rose thinks the timing all makes sense. Amber continued to say they were like friends, and then you don't see Gwyneth Paltrow and Beyonce anymore, but Beyonce's still with Jay. Though she admitted that she doesn't actually know if Paltrow and Jay-Z ever had an affair, Rose noted, "I'm surprised no one has thought of this." Rose is correct when she says that the pair of, A-listers did appear to, boast a close relationship in the past, and that they haven't hit red carpet worthy events together for some time. As Paltrow shared with Ellen DeGeneres on the Comedian's Talk Show in 2010, she and Beyonce actually met at a charity event sometime in the 2000s. She actually said to Ellen, "We just kind of hooked up, hit it off, and became really close friends." Paltrow has apparently been good friends with Beyonce and Jay-Z for years, calling the twosome the greatest people ever during a 2015 radio interview on the Howard Stern Show. She added at that time, "They are funny and sweet and self-aware and really intelligent." As for the cheating allegations, Paltrow's rep said it is completely absurd and 100% false. Beyonce and Jay-Z reportedly separated for a year in 2005, as revealed in the 2015 biography Becoming Beyonce by J. Randy Taraborelli. He suggested that the split coincided with Jay's scouting of Rihanna, sparking rumors of a supposed affair. Now, speaking to Entertainment Tonight at the time, Taraborelli said Beyonce didn't know what to make of this, and it actually ended up breaking them up for a time. They spent maybe a year apart from each other because Beyonce just wasn't sure what to make of the situation with Rihanna. Now, in a candid chat with BBC's Newsbeat, Taraborelli defended defended his bombshell claims despite not speaking directly with Beyonce for his book. He said, well, my job as a biographer is to take a look at, all of the persistent rumors and see if it is possible to unpack them. We found the publicist who was working for one of Rihanna's producers. His job was to promote Rihanna's first single, Pon de Replay. He went on to expose a manufactured scandal, saying in that capacity he began to float the untrue story that Rihanna and Jay were having an affair. This was not true. We interviewed him and he confessed that he planted the story in an effort to promote Rihanna. Now, further shedding light on this web of deception, the former publicist Jonathan Hay confirmed Tara Borelli's story, offering apologies to music power couple Jay-Z and Beyonce after spreading, the false information. Despite safeguarding the identity of those who provided insights, Tara Borelli notes his sources have nothing to gain by talking to him, and often, they had a lot to lose, also claiming that it was people in Beyonce's inner circle that corroborated these claims and provided him more insight. So, the shade of that all, right? Now, the author elaborated on his credibility, saying, this is my 18th book. I've had like 14 bestsellers. So, me and my research team, we really have sort of like a gut for this work. I can tell when somebody is being honest. Everybody is interviewed and re-interviewed, and then their stories are compared with other stories of people who are in the same situations. So we really do a lot of work to corroborate everything that we hear. Now, despite allegations of a split, neither Jay-Z nor Beyonce have, of course, made any public remarks on this.
Now, first off, we have the fact that she's protecting her husband and not speaking out. Jay-Z was just named in a lawsuit with Diddy, and it does not look good for him. Since he and Beyonce are together, it also reflects poorly on her. Now, you don't know what I'm talking about? Well, we have to go back to October to get the full story. Now, an anonymous accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, said an incident happened after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards after party. Now, a federal lawsuit was originally filed in October in the Southern District of New York, listing Diddy as a defendant. What we knew at the time was, at the after party, the victim was mistreated by Diddy, while another male celebrity and female celebrity, neither of whom were named in the lawsuit, watched until she was able to escape. Now, this case was refiled on Sunday, December 8th, and it included Jay-Z, aka Sean Carter, in it. It turns out that he was the male celebrity described in the suit. Now, we still don't know who the female celebrity was, but there is speculation that it was either Beyonce or J-Lo. Now, Texas-based attorney Tony Busby filed the suit, and the lawsuit says that a friend dropped off Jane Doe at the VMAs at the Radio City Music Hall. Now, she did not have a ticket, and she approached various limousine drivers to try to gain access to the show, or even just an after party. One driver, the lawsuit says, told her that he worked for Diddy and that she fit what Diddy was looking for. Now, he invited her to a party after the show and told her to return to his car later in the evening after he transported Diddy and Jay-Z. Later, the driver picked her up, and after 20 minutes they arrived at a white house with a U-shaped driveway. She then had to sign a document she believed was a non-disclosure agreement on arrival, and she did not receive a copy, but she had to do this to enter the party, which the suit says was filled with celebrities. She was then offered a drink that made her feel woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down, so she went into a room to rest. Shortly afterwards, the suit says Diddy and Jay-Z entered the room, with Diddy saying, "You are ready to party." That's when she alleges she was taken advantage of by both men while an unnamed female celebrity just watched. After the alleged incident, the suit says she grabbed her clothes and left. She made her way to a gas station where she called her father. Now, the accuser is seeking unspecified damages, and all I gotta say about all this is that it's just absolutely disgusting. Now, Jay-Z though is furious with this and that it has become public. According to the lawsuit, her attorneys reached out to Jay-Z to request a mediation to resolve this matter. In a statement, Jay-Z called the mediation request a blackmail attempt, and he also said the lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. Now, in a statement from Tony Busby on Saturday, he wrote, "The pleading speaks for itself. This is a very serious matter that will be litigated in court." Now, after this, Jay-Z filed his own lawsuit against the accuser's attorneys. He filed a motion in New York City on December 9th, requesting that the accuser reveal her name instead of filing anonymously as Jane Doe. His lawyer, Alex Bureau stated that Jay-Z is respectfully seeking either dismissal of the allegations or disclosure of the plaintiff's identity. Fair is fair, Alex wrote in the motion. It's not consistent with justice, fairness, or the rules governing federal proceedings for the plaintiff and her counsel to smear Jay-Z's good name. Now, the document also noted that Jay-Z has built an impeccable reputation, adding he's never been accused of, let alone engaged in, any misconduct. Now, it's just disgusting that he wants her name to be revealed to the world, as we know that his fans will go after this poor woman and make her life even worse. But what does Beyonce think about all of this? Well, she hasn't said a thing. In fact, it appears that she's been supporting him. 2 days after Jay-Z was exposed in the lawsuit, Jay attended the premiere of a movie with Beyonce, where their daughter Blue Ivy voiced one of the characters. It was the first time Jay-Z had been spotted in public since the accusations, and sources with direct knowledge told the Post that before the allegations, it was rumored that Jay-Z and Beyonce were not planning to attend the premiere. However, they appeared to have a change of heart after the lawsuit. Now, she's helping him do damage control, and it's just gross. I mean, as a woman and just as a decent human being, why would you support him like that? If anything, just Beyonce and her daughter should have gone to the premiere and left Jay-Z at home, as they knew the attention would be on him. Now, this whole situation is just so gross and horrible, and not to mention, Jay-Z has admitted to cheating on Beyonce. Now, the fact that she stayed with a cheater is shocking, but now she's defending him after everything he's done. I mean, at this point, just throw the whole family away. Now, besides defending her husband, Beyonce has been in quite a few scandals herself. People are claiming that Diddy helped Beyonce and Jay-Z get rid of their competition. For years, Diddy has been accused of causing the passings of Tupac Shakur, the Notorious B.I.G., Michael Jackson, and others. But now people think that Beyonce and Jay were in on it too. Rising star Aaliyah passed away on August 25, 2001 after her private jet crashed in the Bahamas just minutes after takeoff. Now, she was only 22 years old when she passed away and was considered a promising star that would definitely overshadow Beyonce, so some claim Beyonce got Diddy to help get rid of her. Now, at the time of her passing, people were suspicious as no one on board her plane managed to survive. Leslie Lopes, known as Left Eye, was another American artist who passed away suddenly on April 25, 2002 after a car accident. Now, people have also brought up Michael Jackson, as his security guard apparently used to work for Diddy. People are now saying that Beyonce and Diddy had something to do with all of this. Now, J. Cole lists all these celebrities that passed away in his song She Knows, which some people say sounds like Beyonce's last name, Knowles. Now, is it just a coincidence or what? Now, people have done even more digging though and discovered that all the victims, Michael, Aaliyah, and Left Eye, all passed away on the 25th of a month, and that Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Diddy were all born on the 4th of a month. Now, could this mean something? Maybe, maybe not, but it's something to point out. Fans have also brought up the fact that when a lot of people in Hollywood win major awards against Beyonce, they always have to thank her or mention her in some way, and if they don't, they have an untimely passing or an accident. Now, is it crazy to think that Beyonce had Diddy do all of this? One wild theory even involves Kanye West's famous interruption of Taylor Swift at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards. During Taylor's speech, Kanye said Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. Now, some fans are suggesting that this moment was an attempt by Kanye to protect Taylor. Yeah, it's insane, but some people are starting to believe it and are turning on Beyonce. Now, the internet is always full of strange rumors, but this one is picking up steam, and it will need to be shut down soon before it spreads more and more. And let me tell you, it's spreading like a wildfire all over TikTok.
The popular theory circulating online that Beyonce has a clause in her contracts or agreements with other artists that require them to publicly thank or acknowledge her during their performances or acceptance speeches. However, there's no concrete evidence to support this claim. But let me dig into this and then you decide for yourself. There have been several instances that have contributed to this speculation. The craziest one for me is Adele. So during the 59th annual Grammy Awards in 2017, Adele won the award for Album of the Year for 25. In her speech though, she thanked Beyonce saying, "I can't possibly accept this award and I'm very humbled and I'm very grateful and gracious, but my artist of my life is Beyonce. And this album to me, the Lemonade album, was just so monumental and so well thought out and so beautiful and so soul-bearing. And we all got to see another side to you that you don't always let us see, and we appreciate that. And us artists here adore you. You are our light. And the way you make me and my friends feel, the way you make us stand, and the way you make us want to do better. I love you. I always have, and I always will. Her heartfelt tribute to Beyonce sparked a standing ovation and praise from the audience. And while many interpreted it as a strong gesture of admiration, respect, and solidarity, many thought it was just strange and frankly too much. Get this though, it gets like astronomically weirder because she then went on and broke her Grammy in half to give to Beyonce, like the other half, like a real Mean Girls crown moment. Like dedicating your whole speech to someone else is already nasty work, but like breaking your Grammy, at that point, girl, just go ask her to be your mom. And did, because she actually also said at the end of her speech that she wants Beyonce to be her mom. Moving on, so at the 2023 Grammy Awards, Lizzo took home Record of the Year for About Damn Time and was met with massive applause from the crowd. During her acceptance speech, she went on to address Beyonce. She said her sister helped her get out of literature class in the 5th grade to go see Beyonce perform. She followed it by saying, and she sang that gospel medley, and the way she made me feel, I was like, I want to make people feel this way with my music, so thank you so much. You clearly are the artist of our lives. Beyonce seemingly was brought to tears and the crowd to their feet cheering, but this wasn't as intense as Adele, but still, nonetheless, it fed into the theories that Beyonce forced her to do this. At this point, I'm ready to say thanks to Beyonce myself. Although this next incident is a little different, it's still so absurd and has been talked about millions of times throughout the years, so I want to touch on it briefly. Yes, the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards incident between Kanye West and Taylor Swift. In case you've been living under a rock, allow me to quickly give you some context. So West storms on stage and interrupted Swift's acceptance speech for You Belong With Me by taking the microphone out of her hand and saying, yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. This incident is considered to literally be one of pop culture's biggest moments in history. But the theories around it years later are very interesting. A viral TikTok conspiracy theory suggests that Kanye stopped Taylor from being influenced by Diddy, but there's no proof to that, of course, but many think also it was just Kanye being Kanye, but some think Kanye's interruption was intended to protect Swift from being involved with Diddy. He was apparently trying to create a rift between Beyonce and Swift, as she had close ties with Diddy at the time. Now, many TikTok users believe West knew about Diddy's allegations of preying on younger artists and wanted to keep Taylor Swift away from him and Beyonce's influence. One Twitter, or X user, attempted to explain the theory and wrote, "This Diddy thing is making people go insane. The conspiracy theories got me weak. They saying Beyonce was gonna unalive Taylor Swift, so Kanye saved her when he interrupted her on stage. But hey, I've never seen so many positive Kanye comments in a while, so a win is a win." Another user wrote, "Now I see it. He's not angry at Taylor, he's stressed. You people, listen now, search up how many artists were saying that stuff for Beyonce." And because Kanye knew what was going on, he said it to protect her just in case. And that wax figure, it was all for publicity to make up beef so the true dark reason won't see the light. Of course, there's absolutely no proof that supports these claims, but it is food for thought, right? The most recent viral thanking of Beyonce incident happened at the People's Choice Country Awards, where Shabuzi, who's known for his hit song titled A Bar Song, which by the way skyrocketed to the Billboard Hot 100, making a milestone for the artist who is actually known for blending country and hip hop. When he accepted his award for Best New Artist of 2024, during his speech, he went on to thank several people, but upon concluding it, he said, and I quote, "Thanks for you, the Empire, for being the best independent label partner any artist could ask for. And thank you, Beyonce, you're amazing." His lack of elaboration left some fans wondering why he said it at all. The simple "you're amazing" leaves so much to discuss. How is she amazing? What has she done for you? Why are you thanking her? He really made it so short that it was the perfect potion to add to the cauldron of TikTokers believing that these celebs are forced to thank her. And one person even said it's like he gave that whole speech, remember last minute that he has to thank Beyonce or else. Thanked her quickly to save face and then walked off stage. And the scary part about all these people thanking Beyonce is when they do, they look like they're terrified. And what these TikTokers are saying is that Beyonce wields so much power that anyone who kind of treads on her turf is seen as a threat. And they've either got to bow down or they must be eliminated. Basically everyone who accepts an award, whether they're up against Beyonce or not. Now, weirdly though, everybody has been thanking Beyonce over the years when they're not even associated with her. Some fans said, well, is there any evidence pointing to the people being unalive due to not bowing down to Beyonce? Someone actually pointed out that one person who didn't thank Beyonce when she won a Grammy was Amy Winehouse. And yikes, like she passed away the very next year. Also, Aaliyah also passed when she was entering the scene around the same time as Beyonce, and both were almost neck and neck when it comes to being the most up-and-coming star. Many think she falls victim, and to be quite honest with you, Aaliyah was actually more popular than her and on a trajectory to being the bigger star. Aaliyah was the princess of pop, but Beyonce wanted to be queen. Many say if Aaliyah hadn't passed away, Beyonce would be nothing today. Well, maybe not nothing, but like definitely not as big as she is now. And let me give you some chills real quick. What's really creepy is that it was alleged at the time that Jay-Z was involved, or at least wanted to be involved with Aaliyah intimately. But Aaliyah was actually dating Jay-Z's friend Damon Dash, who, by the way, would go on to say that Jay-Z is a deceitful man. Now, on the fateful day of Aaliyah's passing, Aaliyah actually called Damon Dash and said she didn't feel good, something was off, and her intuition was telling her not to get on the plane. And apparently, Dash told her, you know you have to. Apparently, and also according to a book written by Kathy Landoli titled Baby Girl, sources said Aaliyah apparently was given a sleeping pill and carried onto the plane like unconscious before the fatal crash even happened. But what's wild is that Aaliyah was super hesitant to get on and even knew the plane was over limit and knew the plane would struggle to handle 8 passengers with her bodyguard who weighed alone over 300 pounds. She continued to protest, and that's when she was given the pill to basically calm down. So let that run a chill down your spine. It's crazy to think that so many people who have passed on had some sort of tie to Beyonce and Jay-Z, but also that so many people to this day continue to fear Beyonce and her power. What are your thoughts on all of this though? Is this just a bunch of conspiracies, or are these TikTokers like really onto something? Did Beyonce fake her pregnancy? When Beyonce was pregnant with daughter Blue Ivy Carter, so many rumors began spreading that she faked her pregnancy with a fake belly and had enlisted a surrogate to carry the child. A particular video, however, went insanely viral, like literally overnight. A video of Beyonce's high-definition interview with Australia's Sunday Night HD surfaced online. This interview would have been, on record as the most boring interview of all time had it not been for the one moment at the start of the sit-down when Beyonce took a seat and her bump, did something entirely different and kind of unnatural. So to explain, when she sits down, you can see her stomach like deflating and folding in on itself. The stills and slow-mos of the disappearing bump were circulated online as people questioned, what was happening? Now, was Beyonce wearing, different sized bellies to throw off the press as to how far along she was? Had she and Jay-Z, gone the surrogate route and her, deflating baby bump proved it? Or was it something else entirely that can or can't be so easily explained? Beyonce's publicist, Yvette Noel Schur, was quick with it. She shot down the conspiracy theories almost like immediately, telling E! News that, websites, blogs, and rumors suggesting that Jay-Z's wife is wearing a prosthetic or otherwise faking her baby bump are simply like foolish and outlandish. Beyonce addressed it literally only once, saying that was crazy. It wasn't even hurtful, it was just crazy. Where do they come up with this stuff? Meanwhile, her mother, Tina Knowles, took the talk like very personally. She went on to say, I thought it was very unfair and very cruel that someone would think that someone would be that diabolical to keep up a charade like that for 9 months. As a mother, it was painful for for me to hear the crazy rumors, and I even had people ask me, which was so ridiculous. The only thing they could say about why it looked like her belly folded is that it must have been the fabric. One critic online pointed out that Beyonce has been so secretive about her pregnancy, and that the only footage of her actually being pregnant was super grainy and like not clear at all. Some fans, came to her defense saying that there was a pic of her on the beach, in a bikini, but honestly, the photo of her in the bikini, if she was pregnant, looked like she would have been about like 4 months or less. So basically people were saying, the photo doesn't actually prove that she was actually pregnant. There were just so many conspiracy theories regarding why she might be lying. Many people thought she didn't want to like ruin her figure, by being pregnant. Some people suspected maybe she couldn't have children of her own, and some thought, her and Jay were maybe adopting. However, none of this truly mattered when her daughter was actually brought into the world. Blue Ivy was born at Lenox Hill Hospital in Manhattan, New York on January 7, 2012. Her and Jay actually reportedly bought out the whole floor at the hospital in order to have privacy, even making people who, were already there leave. But that's another story for another time. All in all, this whole circus made Beyonce a lot more open with her second pregnancy when she had twins Rumi and Sir. Personally, I think she didn't want the same, accusations and theories to surface again, so she kind of just said, y'all ain't playing with me today. You want a bump? Here it is. Is Beyonce lying about her age? There have been several moments that have made people question whether or not Beyonce is lying about her age. Matthew Knowles, her father, continues to use his daughter's name as a means, to staying newsworthy. This time though, it's adding fuel to the fire, or to the rumor mill, that the superstar is actually lying about her age. In an interview with Power 105.1's The Breakfast Club, Knowles, her father, says that Pink, the singer, is the exact same age as Beyonce. Pink, however, is 45, and Beyonce is, according to her, 43. Beyonce's age has been, a source of speculation for years, complete with alleged birth certificate leaks and, celebrity sources. Gabrielle Union, who is 9 years older than Beyonce, has said they were friends when they were teenagers, and apparently they even went to high school together, but the math ain't mathing there. While the difference between Pink and Beyonce are only like a measly 2 years, by the time you're like closing down on 50, those years, apparently seem to matter. So, fudging the numbers early on makes it a little easier to simply stop at 43 and refuse to age any further. It's as if, as a performer, you were to reach 50, you'd stop being considered for parts or shows, which, let's be honest, that isn't actually true in today's day and age, because just look at Jennifer Lopez. Like, she's in her 50s, she's still performing, headlining, you know what I mean? Or the other worry I would imagine most women up in age would be concerned about would be whether you'd be vilified for like gallivanting in a leotard or like a bodysuit, like a one piece, whatever scandalous type of outfit you might have worn in your 20s. Basically, for being confident about your body. Taylor Swift does it, it's, girl power, but if Madonna does it, it's like supposed to be shameful, So at least that's how society wants us all to view it. Beyonce has lied many times about writing her own music. Beyonce has claimed to be, the creative vision and songwriter behind some of her most successful songs, and there was no room for argument, that she was one of the most talented singer-songwriters to be a part of the music industry, and still is. But when rumors began to swirl that there were holes in the stories Beyonce told about writing her music, fans were shocked. They wondered if Beyonce truly did write all the songs she claimed to, or if she was fabricating. Now, there have been several times when songwriters or celebrities have had negative things to say and called Beyonce out in the press for taking credit for being the creative force behind her songs that have become hits. This is not to say, that the Run the World singer does not put her own spin vocally on tracks to take them places other artists could not, all while having an insane work ethic, but taking full credit for something that there was clearly a collaboration on led fans to do some digging. And when they did, they found several times when Beyonce claimed to be the sole writer or had the inspiration for a song, when that was clearly false. One person on Reddit actually rounded up like a number of examples, which include Emotions, which is actually a Bee Gees cover, Survivor, with the actual songwriter sued and settled out of court, Bow Down, which was allegedly written for Rihanna, Bootylicious, the demo was apparently near complete when, it got to Destiny's Child, and one of Beyonce's biggest songs, Irreplaceable, which apparently was actually written by Neo. Now, what's funny about that one is that Beyonce went on to say, I'm sure people think I wrote it about Jay-Z or something, but the obvious person is not the person at all. Several years later, though, Neo claimed to have penned the song himself. Had he not thought the song was too misogynistic, he explained he would have actually kept it for himself. He said, that song taught me a very interesting lesson. Many women don't think that differently differently. However, a man singing it comes across a little mean. So, with many discrepancies coming up in interviews over the years when Beyonce has claimed to be the driving force behind many of her hits, it is easy to see why fans wonder how much Beyonce has written herself, what she has collaborated on, and what songs were just written for her. There's no denying the talent Beyonce has, and no one is discrediting, her vocal and performance abilities, but many fans and critics alike think that she should give all the credit, not just to herself. In fact, it's just a song that maybe she's collabed on with one person, online even saying, unless Beyonce specifically came up with an idea for a song or contributed vocals to it, she should call herself an artist instead. Another person chimed in and said, for some reason we have this idea that singers have to also write their own music to be considered artists, but telling a story with your voice and entertaining people with your performance is a whole other skill set. I think at the end of the day, just give credit where it's due to avoid these type of, controversies, or stay as low-key as possible and don't extend your part.
The man in question was Dr. Zahi Hawass. He is a popular tour guide as he knows the pyramids very, very well. For years, he's been the Minister of Tourism and Antiquities of Egypt. He campaigns for stolen Egyptian artifacts, and he is, in general, an archaeologist, described by many as Indiana Jones. It's clear the man knows what he's talking about when it comes to the ancient Egyptians, and who wouldn't want a personal tour led by Indiana Jones? He does have another popular unofficial nickname, which is Gatekeeper of the Pyramids. Though this might not be official, he has no problem exercising his right to ban those he deems unworthy of the space, and that list shockingly added Beyonce's name back in 2013. Dr. Hawass said he found the singer rude after she allegedly showed up late to their meeting, and then there was a disagreement over photography. The doctor claimed that he and the artist had agreed to meet at 3 p.m., but Beyonce showed up after that. When he requested an apology, apparently the artist, in his words, didn't open her mouth. Now, that wasn't enough for him to just refuse the tour right then. There was another incident that really created the problems. Beyonce, of course, had a guard with her for safety reasons, but in addition to them, apparently brought a photographer as well because she wanted to do a goddess themed photo shoot while there. The thing is, the doctor also brought a photographer, and this seemed to be a bit of a problem. He claims that when his photographer started taking pictures, Beyonce's guard attempted to stop them, and it resulted in some pushing and almost having their camera taken away. This incident pushed the doctor's anger over the edge, and therefore the star lost her spot on his tour. That, plus she was also allegedly being rude. His send-off to the star was something not many people can say they've done before. Apparently, he said Beyonce was stupid and then just left. There was also the matter that Beyonce had shown up in all white because she was having a goddess-themed shoot. Dr. Hawass even asked her when she arrived if she was trying to be Cleopatra, which Beyonce actually found funny. Of course, anyone allegedly getting banned from an ancient historical site would be a big deal, but when that person is international music artist Beyonce, there's going to be headline upon headline. Of course, news of Beyonce's banning made it back to her team, so we do have a response from the artist, and it just made the whole situation a little bit stranger. According to her team, this incident never happened, and said the whole thing was lies and more lies. Hey, even if the incident did happen, it definitely didn't take place in 2013 like the initial article suggested. Beyonce's statement shared that the last time the singer had been in Egypt was in 2009, and there are photos of her there at that time. When this Beyonce ban news, which was originally reported by the UK news site Independent back in November of 2013, the article made it sound like this incident had happened very recently, but that wasn't the whole truth. Dr. Hawass is a pretty controversial character on his own, without getting into too many details, once calling those with opposing theories pyramidiates. Oh my god. Pyramidiates. Yeah, sure. Once calling those with opposing theories pyramidiates, and I will admit, that's kind of funny, no notes there, extra points for creativity. Anyways, he was widely celebrated for his efforts in the archaeology world, but he was also deemed to be very controlling and overbearing, even egotistical by some. It appears that in a 2013 interview, the man was simply reminiscing on his past encounter with Beyonce from 2009, and if the account is true, it's certainly eventful enough to remember after all this time. Though this alleged incident didn't didn't take place in the year the Independent article came out, accounts from 2009, they do exist. E! News reported that locals spoke to the press at the time. One journalist got the statement that the doctor did get angry with the singer and stopped being diplomatic. This account also claimed that he called Beyoncé a stupid person that didn't understand anything, or that she just didn't want to understand anything. Either way, the pair clearly did not end their interaction well. It's unclear how Beyoncé responded to the insults against her. Maybe they were said after the pair had separated, who knows? Despite the alleged rough end to the tour, things clearly started well enough as the pair were pictured together in front of the Sphinx reading from a book. Beyoncé even made her way into one of the pyramids and sang Ave Maria. She said it was the clearest acoustic she's ever heard, and she could have stayed there forever. I mean, if she really is banned, that would cause a problem. Despite not making overly public returns to the country, Beyoncé has used Egyptian mythology and symbolism in her shows and performances since. People are saying Beyoncé has been kicked out of the country music scene despite the success of her latest album, Cowboy Carter. After winning the Grammy for Best Country Album and Album of the Year this year, Beyoncé has been attacked from all angles. From those that didn't like the album to those that did, but just didn't think this was Beyoncé's best work. The singer has probably heard it all. A lot of people are just angry with the star for taking on the country genre in the first place. Beyoncé, for a long time, has been primarily an R&B, pop, hip-hop artist. Cowboy Carter was her big jump in the country music scene, but not the first time she's tried it out. People are very upset that Beyoncé seemingly tries out a genre and then wins everything for it. It does look odd. If you aren't aware of her country music roots, it would seem like she's just trying out genres to have a little bit of everything in her music library. Those that have really taken the theories far, though, even accuse award shows of being rigged so Beyoncé can have an award for every genre. But again, Cowboy Carter might be Beyoncé's first full country piece, but it's not the first time she's expressed a love for the genre. On her 2016 album Lemonade, she released the country-leaning track Daddy Lessons. In 2007, a rumor was circulating that Beyoncé's next album was going to be all country. It turned out that it really wasn't. Her next album was I Am Sasha Fierce, but the rumor likely came from the fact that Beyoncé had spoken out about her love for country music and the fact that she had recently done a country rendition of her song Irreplaceable at the AMAs with country artist Sugarland. Truly, it was a matter of time though before she was going to come out with a Cowboy Carter. I mean, Beyoncé was born and raised in Houston, Texas. Country music is in your bones. In 2024, the Country Music Awards shocked everyone though when they didn't award Beyoncé with any awards or even nominations. People weren't exactly being shy about their distaste for her taking on the genre, but outright refusing to acknowledge the impact her album had was another thing entirely. Beyoncé's song Texas Hold'em was huge. The Beyhive was hopeful that Beyoncé would become the first black woman to get shortlisted for Album of the Year. Of course, that didn't happen in the end. Not to say that those that were nominated were undeserving, because many great country albums have been released last year, but what's interesting is that the CMAs might have had a hand in the creation of the very album that they ended up snubbing. In 2016, Beyoncé performed her song Daddy Lessons at the CMAs with the Chicks, formerly known as Dixie Chicks. The performance was widely criticized. Lead singer of the Chicks, Natalie Maines, even spoke out about the treatment Beyoncé was subject to after, calling it disgusting. Beyoncé was the one in the end to connect the 2016 show to the 2024 album. In an Instagram post about Cowboy Carter, Beyoncé wrote that the album was born out of an experience that she had years ago where she did not feel welcome. The experience made the artist want to take a deeper dive into the history of country, and now we have it in Cowboy Carter. Though she lost out on nominations at the Country Music Awards, she got 12 at the People's Choice Country Awards, which was, funnily enough, more than anyone else that year.